Yet kids will be kids, and some of them will take the advice and some of them will not. And they must learn the things that they need to on their own through experience. Zach, as if you heard over and over again, had a great spirit about him. Those who got the opportunity to get past his sober exterior got to see someone of great quality and substance. He didn't let many there, but at times he did. They were richly rewarded in sharing their lives with him. Many of you here got to see the deeper side of Zach. His parents saw it and it brought them great joy when he was happy, smiling, and seemingly doing well. Then all was well. Last year, Zach faced some huge struggles in his life with the addictions and the anxiety. And instead of letting them carry on, he got help. He went into a treatment facility hosted by Hope for Freedom Society, and they cared for him so very well. And while he was there, he was reminded of all the learning that he did as a kid at our church and other churches about God's love for him and about Christ through kids programs and youth programs, and realized once again his need for God to be a bigger part of his life. And he surrendered his life once again to God. On the back of the bulletin, actually I think it's in the middle of your bulletin, you'll see a picture of him getting baptized. I stared at that picture for a long time. Because that's what I longed for him more than anything, was that he would experience anew the love of God for him. Zach rediscovered his Savior, that his Savior could be trusted wholeheartedly. Zach rediscovered that his Savior would be sufficient for him wholeheartedly. And Zach rediscovered that his Savior was incredibly compassionate wholeheartedly. And as you heard through the stories, that there was parts where Zach was gaining strength. And Zach was starting to get some purpose, and he was starting to do some things that made a difference in his life. But unfortunately, the doubts and the weaknesses came back again. And the struggles were great that led him to start using again. But it wasn't an overdose that took him. It was a bad drug. This is my third funeral for a young person because of fentanyl. And I hope it's my last. If you're young here, I want you to hear me loud and clear. There are people out in this world that want to see you addicted. They've created a drug so powerful that it doesn't even need to be in an overdose form for it to kill you. The two former students that I had done funerals for, one had never used drugs before in his life. It was the very first time, and he wasn't even doing fentanyl. He was doing cocaine, but it was laced with fentanyl. And he didn't have a chance. He sat in his car and he died right there on the street in an intersection. If Zach would want to say anything to you, he would say, do not go there. You have no idea the reaction that you're going to have to that. There's no such thing as safe drugs anymore. Absolutely not. There are people out there that want to see people die on purpose. Let's not make Zach's death useless. Let's make it mean something, please. That if you're here and you're struggling with addiction, get help. There's some great places to get good help. If you're here and you're struggling with addiction, then talk to someone. Steve invited you. Come and talk to him. Because you never know that next drug that you take, that it's going to be safe.